Good morning, my name is Hallie Cars.
My name is Beatrice Bird.
My name is Carlos Suarez.
My name is Joshua Bird.
My name is Juan Arias. Orlando is a city that has very rapidly grown in the past decade. Many different factors have contributed to this growth, but the main one being the construction of theme parks. As an example, Disney World, Universal Studios, and SeaWorld have greatly contributed to its urban development, which is urbanization. Considering this, we were able to answer the question, to what extent has the introduction and expansion of theme parks impacted the urban development of Central Florida over the past 65 years?
Our claim is, theme parks in Orlando area have been and continue to be one of the main causes of rapid urban development of Central Florida, contributing to expansion and growth of the area. We concluded that with the help of investors and the government on the local and state level, theme parks should keep innovating and expanding in order to better the overall Central Florida area. The establishment of theme parks are said to contribute to the sustainability of destinations. According to Andy Millam, a successful theme park development will surely contribute to local sustainability. Local government and residents will enjoy the external effects of the theme park. The global development of theme parks has evolved over the past decades, seeking to persuade tourism and improve the image of a destination. This generates economic benefits as well as educational and entertainment opportunities to the local community. As it can be illustrated in the first image by the NASA, in 1972, Orlando lacks of residential and commercial areas. Through the past 4 decades, Orlando has progressed with the opening of theme parks such as Disney Hollywood Studios, Epcot, SeaWorld Orlando, and Universal Studios. It can be visible that Orlando has added infrastructure and businesses to accommodate visitors and residents who are from different social and cultural backgrounds. This progression, identified by the NASA, demonstrates that the increment of tourism is mostly because of the introduction and expansion of theme parks, which then generates to add urban living.
As Carla illustrated, there has been an increase in urban living in Orlando, and thanks to that, Disney has developed a variety of educational programs. Disney is paying 100% of tuition for employees and cast members to educate themselves and follow their dreams. Education is for the youth is our best investment in the future. This is Walt Disney points of view towards education, and we can see clearly why Disney is focusing so much on education. Disney is investing $50 million to start these programs and $25 million annually for them to run at their maximum capacity. Thanks to Disney Inspire, we have data of how these programs have positively impacted the lives of the people that have gone through them. 3/4 of the job added since the recession have gone to workers with a bachelor's degree or higher. This means a 75% increase. Individuals with a college degree earn 66% more than someone without one over the lifetime, and by 2028, there will be 3 million jobs added in skilled trades.
As Juan previously mentioned, the Disney educational programs have created many job opportunities in the Orlando area. But jobs have also been created due to technology companies moving to Orlando in order to be in closer proximity to theme parks. As stated by Amanda Roach, as the attractions and theme parks industry quickly evolves to keep up with the latest technologies, the Orlando technology community is quickly moving to meet its demands. Technology companies choose to move to Orlando in order to be closer to the technological innovations made by parks such as Disney World and Universal Studios, which leads to more innovations that can not only be used in theme parks but in other areas as well. Pictured here is the International Association of Amusement Park Operators in the Orlando Convention Center, and they have recently moved their headquarters to Orlando in order to be closer to the technological innovations made by the theme parks. Disney and Universal Studios have also created technologies within the parks which lead to more guest spending, which helps the overall economy of Central Florida. Pictured here is the Disney app, and as you can see, there is a place where you can reserve dining as well as order food. According to an article on Forbes, 20% of Disney's per capita guest spending inside the parks comes from food and beverages. And facilitating the buying of food and beverages inside the parks can lead to more guest spending, which helps Disney and other theme parks generate more money to help the overall economy of Central Florida. In addition, Magic Bands are another technology used in parks that lead to more guest spending. This bracelet has many key features such as a room key, photo pass card, fast pass access, park admission, but most importantly, it can be used as a form of payment. Guests no longer need to have their money or cards with them in order to make purchases. All they need is their Magic Band, which leads to more guest spending inside the parks.
As Beatrice mentioned, the technological advancements developed by theme parks has helped to benefit the overall economy of Central Florida. But these aren't the only economic benefits that theme parks bring. Theme parks are responsible for the creation of thousands of jobs. As you can see, as of 2018, Walt Disney World has created 74,200 jobs, Universal Orlando has created 25,000 jobs, and SeaWorld Orlando has created 6,032 jobs. Just these three theme parks alone are responsible for over 100,000 jobs within Central Florida. There are also many jobs within Central Florida that are indirectly supported by theme parks. With programs such as Supplier Diversity, which promotes local businesses within Central Florida, according to an article by Smart Asset, over 6% of jobs within Central Florida are dependent on Disney World, meaning that over 85,000 jobs aren't directly employed by Disney, but wouldn't exist without them. Theme parks are also responsible for the generation of taxes. According to an article by Attractions Magazine, in 2009, Disney World produced over $18.2 billion in economic activity, which translates to over $400 million in taxes for the state of Florida. Many counties within Central Florida have seen benefits from this, including $100 million in Orange County and $10 million in Osceola County.
As Joshua previously mentioned, the generated taxes from theme parks, not only are they spending money, they are also saving money efficiently. Over the past several years, Orlando's theme parks have transformed from using non-renewable resources, such as natural gas, to renewable resources, including solar energy and geothermal. Also, Orlando's theme parks have introduced green technology. For example, in Universal Studios Orlando, they introduced green technology into the attraction The Simpsons Ride at the fire rise towards the end of the attraction. In addition, Walt Disney World has reduced waste by creating more metal products such as water bottles, utensils, and merchandise, which has reduced the amount of plastic being brought into the parks. The following graph, published by Florida Solar Energy Center, demonstrates the cost and saving benefits of energy savings from the parks. Furthermore, SeaWorld Orlando has benefited off of the energy savings for future protection for their animals. For example, SeaWorld Orlando has created special door controls for guest entry and exit when they exhibit the penguins. In addition, they have also created vapor barrier envelopes in order to keep the penguins safe and secure in their habitats, which has increased survival rates and decreased thermal bridge issues. The following image, published by Alamy, demonstrates the protection and the security the penguins are experiencing due to the creation of vapor barrier envelopes. While connecting the content previously mentioned throughout the presentation, a possible solution was Orlando theme parks would need to reduce the prices of payment towards park tickets and merchandise. However, this was an unsuccessful solution because Orlando's theme parks would experience higher rates of overcapacity and less revenue. Therefore, this solution is proposed as illogical.
Our solution of promoting the growth of theme parks within Orlando does come with its limitations. The biggest limitation would be that the growth of Central Florida would become too overdependent on the growth of theme parks, meaning that if anything were to happen to theme parks, such as an economic recession, then business within theme parks would shrink, and thus the growth of Central Florida would either stagnate or shrink along with it. Another limitation would be that Orlando would become too overpopulated. However, we decided on our solution over all the other possible solutions that ended up failing because of its benefits that it brings. With our solution, it promotes job creation, a safer environment, advancements in technology, and the growth of tourism within Central Florida. All these factors come in together to help support the urban development of Central Florida. What questions do you have?
You guys good just like that? All right, we'll start on this side. In the future, what change would you make to your group norms, and how would you expect that to improve your team's presentation?
In the future, I would make sure that we met up more times before the last few days of the presentation, because recently Hallie did get sick the past few days, so we weren't able to practice as much as we wanted to. So I feel like if we practiced more before, when we had more time, then we would have been able to put our information together a little better.
Okay, thank you. Carla, in what way did you improve your ability to work with the group as a result of this project?
My ability to work as a group in this project improved because we were able to communicate with each other. For example, we met several times to practice and we discussed the project. So my ability improved because we were able to have communication and collaboration.
Okay, thank you. Oh, sick girl. What's an example of a compelling argument from one of your peers' individual reports that you decided to exclude, to not include into your presentation?
So an example of a compelling argument that we didn't include in our presentation was Beatrice's argument on how technology brings more jobs into the Central Florida area. And we decided to exclude this because Josh's economic lens already focuses on the jobs that are being brought into Central Florida.
All right, thank you. Mr. Byrd, what was the strongest counter argument to your solution that you identified, and why was it the strongest?
Our strongest counter argument would be that with our solution, theme parks would become too over-reliant, or the growth of Central Florida would become too over-dependent on theme parks. So if anything were to happen to theme parks, like the 9/11 attacks, which saw tourism go down, or the 2008 recession, which saw tourism go down as well, then the growth of Central Florida would either shrink or stagnate and be affected by that.
Okay, and Juan, having finished your project, what, if anything, would you consider to be a gap in your team's research?
A gap in the team's research is the look towards more the past from the question. Our question goes back to the 65 years from when the Disney parks were founded, but the research that we have right now was more in the recent years, more like 10 years, 5 years, 2018, and that is a gap that if we had more time, we'll go more back into the past.
Thank you. You guys are done. You can breathe.